County, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the Damn Sports Show, presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun, featuring Mr. Smooth himself.
My who's hot is Wally.
Yeah, that's fair.
Smoking hot.
Corey Sparks. And a real athlete.
I am an athlete. I am going to show up and dominate.
Wally Lukaczynski, covering everything Titletown and pro college and high school sports around South Central Wisconsin. Here are these heroes. Really heroes?
Just proving the hero that I am, just in the nick of time to be tortured for all of your enjoyments at home.
Okay, here are these heroes now. Broadcasting live on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, Daily Dodge TV, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Over the Bengals yesterday, top 3 high school plays of the week, and Beaver Dam and Husticon football recaps. Beaver Dam's homecoming contest behind us now. Husticon and Clinton got into what might have been the best high-scoring battle in the state of Wisconsin for high school football just this past Friday. So more to dive into with that. And because it is Monday on the Damn Sports Show, we wrap up with Who's Hot, Who's Not here on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV, as well as the ESPN Wisconsin app. Since we are on the road, we are in the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All mobile broadcast studios, which you can follow us along in our mobile broadcast studios all season, all year long on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. We'll squeak some atmosphere talk in here. Not too much Badgers basketball from a show planning perspective, but pretty cool. Got to pop into the media room earlier today, talk with head coach Greg Gard, and then they had a great media session from 2:30 to 3 p.m. for the men's basketball team where you just get one-on-ones with players. I went the more serious route, shocker. Wally went the more funny route, shocker.
Yeah, no, it was pretty on brand for us, and I will say that with a lot of the teams, especially in the NIL era, you feel like there might be some egos, especially on a smaller team like a basketball squad. Walking around and getting to talk to all these guys, I was blown away with how welcoming and kind they were to us. I mean, we even got a little ESPN Beaver Dam level. A lot of these people don't even know where Beaver Dam is. The other half could have pointed it out on a map for you. I was blown away.
Yes, that was one of the fun questions. Keep an eye on us on the ESPN Beaver Dam Facebook page, ESPN Beaver Dam on TikTok, Dam Sports ESPN, and ESPN BD on Twitter. We're going to have some fun clips going out throughout and leading up to the 2025-26 Badgers men's basketball season. It's the media day for Badgers women's basketball as well. Unfortunately, that is going on right now as this show is going on. So we did want to get down there and talk to head coach Robin Pinchton, who comes over from Missouri and had an accolades-filled career over there, and then player availability to follow. But that directly coincides with this show. There is an open practice after this over at the pavilion just across the street. So we're going to go over there, get a little video, get to know the players, coaching staff a little bit more. Huge shout out to head of basketball operations, Eli Wilkie. He's having us out here. He's the reason that we were able to have all this amazing access and do the show live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All mobile broadcast studio at the Kohl Center. So big thank you to Eli and the Wilkie family.
Oh, they're unbelievable. I mean, it's no surprise. I was going to say Coach Wilkie takes care of us all the time, but now we're expanding this Wilkie
going around the
system.
web.
We're in the web. I was going to say this entire family feels like they're basically Damn Sports Show, guest and host at this point. So I'm sure we'll have Eli on at some point down the road, but blast to have us out here. I'm very thankful for everybody that made this possible.
And it is now time to welcome our good friend Gabe Neitzel on to the Damn Sports Show. You can hear Gabe live on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy weekdays from 7 until 9 a.m. on ESPN Milwaukee and the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel. Gabe, happy Monday. How are you?
I'm doing great, boys. How are we doing today on a beautiful Monday for baseball?
NLCS Game 1 Monday. How are you? I mean, so were you at the game, Game 5, the winner-take-all at American Family Fielder? Paint the picture for me, Gabe. Where were you watching, listening, experiencing this game from?
So I was not in attendance at Game 5. Did not purchase tickets for Game 5. I will be there tonight.
Ooh, there
So I'm looking forward to that. But I was watching the game in the living room with my wife. So my wife's Puerto Rican, but she grew up in Chicago. She moved there when she was like 2 and went to a high school that's close enough to Wrigley Field that a handful of years ago, Kerry Wood made a very large donation to the public school system in Chicago for a $5 million baseball field that went on the campus of her high school that she attended because it's close. It's the closest high school to Wrigley. But she is completely Team Brewers.
Wow.
Like we went to game 1. She's lived in Milwaukee now for. Oh, man, she's lived in Milwaukee at this point for 15 years.
Part of the team.
She's all in. We got her a Jackson Churio jersey. She was wearing that on Monday as we were watching it. The dog might have been more stressed in our house than I was because our dog just gets, stressed out the fact that I'm stressed out. He doesn't like it when I get mad, when something bad happens. He doesn't like when I get excited when something good happens. So the tensions were high all over in the Neitzel household on Saturday evening.
So looking back at the NLDS, Gabe, as an avid fan of the team and someone who surrounds himself with sports, tell me, man, Game 5, what did that win on that night against that team to advance to the Final Four mean to you?
I mean, it just means so much because, first and foremost, the Brewers winning a playoff series. It's something that hasn't happened since 2018, right? The team's been close. We've had our heart broken, whether it was 2019 in the wild card round in Washington against the Nationals, the team that went on to win the World Series, or whether it was last year in Game 3 when Pete Alonso did what he did in the 9th inning here at American Family Field. So just getting over the hump and winning a playoff series, getting back to the stage of, hey, we're 4 wins away from doing something that hasn't happened since 1982. Getting to that stage, getting to a championship series, which somebody in the state of Wisconsin hasn't done since the Bucks went to a championship and won it back in 2021. So, just that in itself is very exuberant. To do it against the Chicago Cubs, who, by the way, have some really soft fans online, man. Holy cow. These guys, you wave one flag that has an L on it, and they are all crying days later because they can't handle it. But because it was against the Cubs, a rival, so that, you always have that now over them for the next how many ever months or until they ever play a postseason series again. Hey, we beat you in the postseason that year. But also did it against Craig Counsell, who he didn't say it with his words. He said it with his actions. Left Milwaukee because he did not think the Brewers could do what they're doing right now. He left Milwaukee. Yeah, they went to an NLCS with him as the manager back in 2018. But he decided, hey, with the resources available to me in Milwaukee, that team can't do it. I can do it down here in Chicago. And now he's 0 for 2. He continues to fall behind the Milwaukee Brewers despite leaving. So that's what it means. Just the excitement of being able to, A, be there, and then, B, to do it against that team and that manager. That's what I think a lot of the emotion comes pouring out from Brewers fans after Saturday.
Oh, absolutely. And the Brewers had the best record in baseball. They're on the heels of that. Now, as the 1 seed, they control home field advantage throughout the MLB playoffs. And yet, Gabe, here's what caught my eye last night. MLB's social accounts ranked the Brewers 4th out of the 4 remaining teams. I get other teams have the big superstars. I get they have the bigger payrolls than we have here in Milwaukee. But, Gabe, how is it possible that they're power ranked 4th after everything they've done this year?
Because most of the people running Major League Baseball social can't name who's hitting 5 through 9 for the Milwaukee Brewers, even though they're really good players. Even though, you've got some guys in there, Joey Ortiz is a stud defensively. And if Joey Ortiz at some point in his career wins a Gold Glove, nobody's going to be shocked. That's how good of a defender that he is. Same thing with Blake Perkins in center field, that he is one of the best defenders in all of Major League Baseball. But look, everywhere you look, it's not even just there. You go look at Potawatomi Sportsbook. You take a look at, any big sports book right now, Brewers are heavy underdogs to lose to the Dodgers. So Blake Snell can say, hey, I'm not buying this underdog stuff. They had the best record in baseball, yada, yada, yada. Well, Blake Snell, you're making more money this year than the entire Brewers pitching staff on the NLCS roster this year. So, yeah, the Brewers are a little bit of an underdog, and they bought into that from Pat Murphy because they all buy in 1 through 26. We had Buster Olney on the show, and I cannot recommend people go check out the ESPN Wisconsin app. Don't listen to Buster. In the next 3 hours, well, I shouldn't say that. After 5 o'clock ends, and you're done
well
listening
done. Well done.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So after that, at 5 o'clock, Go to the ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the interview we did with Buster Olney today. Really good stuff from Buster. And he's so nice that we excused him for picking the Dodgers in 4. Like, he had nothing but great things to say about the Brewers and then pick the Dodgers in 4. But, like, he points out about how rare it is to have 26 guys on a roster. It's even more than that. It's more than the 26 guys on the roster, on the active roster that they have going into the NLCS. Everybody is bought in. Everybody knows their role and wants to excel in that role. And that's why everybody keeps doubting them. That's why everyone keeps saying that they can't do it. But this is a team in every sense of the word because they have bought into Pat Murphy's vision that they've been able to execute all the way right now to home field advantage in the NLCS.
Gabe, I'm running out of words to say. I almost said Hunter Vaughn, but the legend that is Andrew Vaughn at this point.
Close enough.
We saw 2 home runs in that Cubs series, one in that pivotal Game 5.
Hunter Vaughn's a pretty good legend in his own right.
That name in general, the Vaughns, it's just a plethora of talent over there. It's without being said. But, like, how do you even begin to talk about this guy? I mean, with what he's done, and I guess my second question for you, Gabe, is more or less, can they get to the World Series unless the legend of Andrew Vaughn continues to grow?
I think that, they certainly need Andrew to continue to hit. Obviously hitting 2 home runs in the DS after not having a home run for however long it was. But the thing with Andrew, he was still hitting, and he was still hitting the ball hard. He just wasn't lifting it up over the fence the way he ended up doing in the DS. So they're certainly going to have to get something out of him. But, and I know Bryce Terang ended up having that big home run. They won because this team is so well-rounded. They were able to beat the Cubs with minimal contributions from Bryce Terang. They won with really nothing from Sal Frelick. Had some good at-bats, had the double in Game 4 that ultimately really didn't result in a whole heck of a lot. Christian Yelich still hasn't driven in a run since 2018 in the playoffs. Now, Christian still obviously hit and was in the middle of a lot of those things. But if I told you Christian Yelich isn't going to drive in a run, you'd have thought, Brewers are cooked. They're not going to beat the Cubs. But they just find ways, man, because, again, 1 through 9, they've got depth. And that's the fun part. I can't wait to see over the course of 7 games how much different this lineup is going to look and how Murphy's going to balance it. Because Jake Bauers has been one of the best Brewers hitters over the course of the last month. And because the Cubs were so left-handed heavy with their pitching, he only got the 1 start. And what did he do in that start? He hit a home run, had another hit that drove in a couple. He's really good as well, and just trying to figure out what this lineup is going to look like because they have that depth is going to be a fun, exciting part of the series.
Talking with our friend Gabe Neitzel from the ESPN Milwaukee team. You can hear Gabe live on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy weekdays from 7 until 9 a.m. on ESPN Milwaukee and the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel. Gabe, Game 5, outside of the solo shot from Seiya Suzuki, I don't know if Jacob Mizorowski could have been better. Did you notice anything different about him that kept him reeled in and with a greater ability to command the strike zone? The one thing I personally noticed watching that game through the middle phases of it was that instead of throwing 103, 104, he looked more controlled in that 99 to 100 mile an hour range with his fastball. Was that the difference for you, or was it something else?
So that certainly helped. And I don't know if that was just because, he did throw, close to 50 pitches in Game 2 and then had to turn around and throw in Game 5. And yeah, they had a couple of off days in between there. But, just a little bit different for him, so maybe his arm wasn't all the way where it needed to be. But Jacob Mizorowski he is just still so young in his development, and the command and the control is obviously something he needs to work on. If he had command and control, he would have been the 21st ranked prospect. He would have been 1 or 2. Because when you throw that hard and you have some of the stuff that Miz has, it just plays. But you have to be able to throw it in the strike zone. You have to be able to command it. And I think his outing on Saturday night was one of the best pitching performances that he's had. And what I mean by that is this. There's a lot of guys that can throw really hard, but they haven't quite learned how to pitch yet. How do you set up hitters instead of just rearing back, relying on that big old fastball? And guys and hitters nowadays, they're really good. They can still sit on that and drive out of the ballpark the way Seiya Suzuki did. But if you keep them off balance and you can throw your slider for a strike, you get that big old curveball, you get that in the strike zone, it's harder for them to even catch up to you now when you're throwing 99 and 100 versus having even that extra in the tank where he threw 104 in the game in Game 2. So I thought it was just a really good pitching performance where a lot of times he's been out there and he's a thrower. but he's learning how to pitch. And I think with William Contreras, I think with this coaching staff and Chris Hook specifically as the pitching coach, they're starting to get more out of his other stuff, his off-speed stuff. And I think that's where, again, his fastball was down a tick, but he was throwing a lot more curveballs and a lot more sliders, and that's really what I thought kept the hitters off balance. And then when you needed that fastball, 99, 100, it was more than enough to play because they couldn't just sit on that fastball every time they were stepping up to the dish.
Speaking Miz, in this talented Dodgers side, do you think that with what we saw from him in the NLDS that they could be enticed to throw him out there once again as a starter, or do you think that maybe he's married to the bullpen for the rest of this postseason?
Whatever role they decide, Wally, he's going to have to be a long guy, whether that is starting the game and throwing the first 4 innings, or whether that's coming in inning number 2 and going 2, 3, 4, and 5. Or if he's, continuing to roll because they might have to need more out of him because they have less off days in this series with more games to play than they did in the 5-game series against the Cubs. Like, Miz is obviously going to be a big part of that. Like, they have one true starting pitcher right now, and it's Freddie. And they're going to have to kind of cobble together the rest. And tonight I think it starts with Quinn Priester, who's going to come into the game after Aaron Ashby. And Priester is going to be the guy that they need to get 4 innings out of minimum. Maybe if he's cooking, you let him go for a 5th. Which can be tough against this Dodger lineup, especially the top part that is just so terrifying with Shohei and Betts and Freeman and Teoscar Hernandez. So whatever the role is, he's going to have to get 4 or 5 innings. That's what they absolutely need out of him. And whether that's the traditional idea that we have of the starter, whether that ends up being the guy who comes in right after the opener, the job's the same. He just needs to collect outs. And hopefully he can collect anywhere from 12 to 15 outs whenever he's called upon. But the interesting thing to me about Miz, and we just saw this with Quinn Priester, and the emotions with Priester last week were a little bit higher. Chicago kid, making his first postseason start, doing it in that stadium that's just loud and raucous. Like, Dodger Stadium isn't that. Like, they're not as rabid out in Los Angeles, but Miz is going to have to pitch out in L.A. He's not going tonight. Freddie's going tomorrow in Game 2. So the next time we see Miz, it's going to be on the road. And even though it's not going to be as raucous of an environment, it's still playoff baseball in Dodger Stadium, one of the most historic stadiums in all of baseball. So I think that's just kind of the next step. Miz was able to perform in front of the home fans. Can he now take that act on the road out to Los Angeles? That's the next step in his growth.
Gabe, here we are again. The Brewers are seen as heavy underdogs. Despite the 97-win season, they're going up against a powerhouse financially, talent-wise in general. You just dropped some of those names, and Freeman, Teoscar, obviously Shohei Ohtani. What's the number one key to ending the Dodgers season in these next few games?
Get to the bullpen. I think you have to get off the fast starts. You have to put pressure on that starting pitching, which is easier said than done. Blake Snell wasn't healthy, injured himself early in the season, had shoulder inflammation, missed a big chunk of the season. So the 2 times the Brewers played them, they didn't face Blake Snell, who was a big free agent acquisition for the Dodgers this offseason. But since he's come back, he's been really, really good. There have only been a couple of bumps in the road for him since he's come back from that shoulder inflammation. But the one weakness of this team is the bullpen. Roki Sasaki is kind of fallen into that closer's role now for the Dodgers almost by default. He's been their most effective reliever, but I don't think that that's necessarily sustainable because he isn't somebody who's been lights out all year long. He's just throwing well right now. And they still don't have, like, all these different high-leverage arms, even the way the Cubs had all these different high-leverage guys that they like to bring in. The Dodgers are going to want to ride their starting pitching. So if you can get to Snell tonight, get to Yamamoto tomorrow night, and really start to tax the bullpen, the Dodgers just don't have the answers the way that the Cubs did out of their pen. It's the one weakness of this team. And again, easier said than done because that starting pitching, I just named the starters for Game 1 and 2. I don't know when they're throwing Ohtani, but he's obviously pitching. And then they have Tyler Glasnow as well as their 4th starter. I mean, it's really good starting pitching. Any one of those guys would be the number 1 for any of the other teams remaining in the postseason, or maybe they're the number 2 because Freddie's been that good this year for the Brewers, and George Kirby's been really good for the Seattle Mariners this year. But it's just a really good starting rotation, and that's the challenge here is, how do you hit that starting pitching, and can you get to that bullpen quick? Because if you can really do some damage to the Dodgers.
Gabe, huge thank you for giving us so much of your time. I do have one last one as we leave you out the door today. But if you put your Pat Murphy hat on for a second, with Shohei Ohtani coming up in this series, how do you approach him when he's at the dish? Is this pitch around him? Is this go right at him and realize, hey, we're going to be burned sometimes? How do you go after Shohei?
Yeah, I think they're going to try to match him up against the lefty as often as they can. It's what the Phillies did. Now, the Phillies have a lot of really good left-handed pitching, and he struggled against the Phillies in that series. A lot of strikeouts, not a lot of hits. So you want to match him up against lefties as often as you can, but obviously that's not going to be possible. The second at-bat he gets tonight is going to be against Quinn Priester. And obviously Quinn Priester between now and then is not going to become a lefty. He's going to be a righty. You're going to have to – you still have to pitch smart to him. And, yeah, every once in a while he might burn you, but you just have to execute high-quality pitching. You can't pitch around him because he bats leadoff, and then you have a future Hall of Famer behind him in Mookie Betts. You have a future Hall of Famer later in the lineup in Freddie Freeman. So there's really no pitching around Shohei Ohtani because of where they put him in the lineup. It's just a smart place to put him if you're Dave Roberts. But I think Murph is going to want to throw as many lefties as he can. Throughout the course of the series, he's going to see Aaron Ashby and he's going to see Koenig a heck of a lot. And hopefully those guys are up to the challenge.
Gabe, as Wally just said, we always appreciate your time, your analysis. You've got us fired up for Game 1 tonight. Next time we talk to you, this series is either going to be over or we will be literally probably in progress for Game 6 as the start time there is 4:08. Thanks so much, Gabe.
Just to let you know, if the series is still in progress, I will not be joining you. I will be inside American Family Field for game number 6 at 4:08. So apologies ahead of time if the series is still going. I'm going to have to miss my appearance next
Brewers
week.
in 5 then.
Brewers in 6 or 5. Yeah, we'll take it. Either way, we want you there.
Hey, Brewers in 5. I'm good with that. Yeah, if you want to say Brewers in 4, I'm cool with that. Brewers in whatever. It's hard to imagine a Brewers World Series because it's just, we got close in 2018, lost in Game 7, but again, it's something that hasn't happened since 1982. We're just 4 wins away against a team we've already beaten 6 times this year.
It's looking pretty good. Gabe, we're looking forward to it, man. Thank you so much.
Have a good rest of your show, boys.
All right, appreciate it. That is the amazing Gabe Neitzel. You can hear him live on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy weekdays from 7 until 9 a.m. on ESPN Milwaukee and the ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channel. So he's got it decked out. Going to Game 6 if there is one. I think this goes a while, but I'd be good with Brewers in 5 so that we can have more time with Gabe, which we always appreciate. When we return, takeaways from the Bengals-Packers game yesterday. Was that good enough? Is that a good enough win for you at home? Taking a look at that game and recapping what was a 27-18 victory next. This is the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam and Daily Dodge TV.
I didn't think about it.
Football, Prize Picks is the best way to win cash watching our favorite teams. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Well, make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats. If you get your picks right, you could cash in. Prize Picks now offers stacks, meaning you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Prize Picks also offers injury reboots. If one of your players leaves the game in the first half and doesn't return, Prize Picks won't count it as a loss. Prize Picks offers Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Join millions of users. Sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app. Download the Prize Picks app today and use that code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WI to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
This week's White Construction High School Athlete of the Week is Tavondre Bruns of Wayland Academy. The senior competes in the Big Reds football, wrestling, and baseball teams. Advice he'd give a freshman is iron sharpens iron. Work hard, and it will pay off. After graduation, he'd like to play college football and pursue a career in finance. Congratulations to Wayland Academy's Tavondre Bruns. He's this week's White Construction High School Athlete of the Week.
Are you tired of battling a damp, musty basement? Air Care in Beaver Dam has a solution for you. The April Air Dehumidifier will significantly improve the air quality in your basement by removing up to 100 pints of moisture per day. That's 12.5 gallons. The April Air Dehumidifier is quiet, energy efficient, and backed by an impressive 5-year replacement warranty. If you want a crisp, dry lower level for more living space or storage, call Air Care at 920-356-8860. Big enough to serve you and small enough to care.
At Prairie Ridge Health, our rehab team is here to help you restore mobility, regain independence, and get back to doing what you love. With state-of-the-art facilities and a compassionate team of physical and occupational therapists, we're proud to serve our communities in Columbus, Beaver Dam, and Sun Prairie. Early morning and evening appointments are available. Schedule a visit today at prairieridge.health. Prairie Ridge Health, inspired by you.
At Gruber Law Offices, we take great pride in helping those who have trusted us after a serious accident. Our team has the knowledge, resources, and experience to get you the results you deserve. Don't wait to get the help you need. Make the right call. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
When it comes to liquor, snacks, and meat, your Fox Brothers Piggly Wiggly in Beaver Dam and Mayville can't be beat. Get all the groceries you need and more in just one trip to the pig. They have their signature Fox Brothers award-winning brats and all sorts of smokehouse meats. Check out the fresh deli section to ensure your meals for the week are set. And your ears didn't deceive you. Fox Brothers has a wide selection of beer and liquor too. Shop Fox Brothers Piggly Wiggly online at foxbrospiglywiggly.com.
Sports, spice, and occasionally nice. You're tuned in to Corey and Wally on the Damn Sports Show, presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun, Dodge County's local sports show on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
this point. So, sorry, we were doing tech issues there at the same time. But no, for me, it's a Green Bay Packers team that in 10 weeks we're going to remember the win, and we're not going to care that it came against a hapless, Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati Bengals. It's just a matter about stacking it this time of year. And now teams like Detroit, who, by the way, gambling favorites or are underdogs last night, people would have talked about that as a bad loss 10, 15 years ago. We've even seen that adjusted now, where it's the sharps out there. They see things coming. It's no different. I mean, 14.5, I thought that I was stealing money from the bank. It's just the guys in Vegas know what they're doing. And this number coming out like it did, it doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, and again, it was it was a turnover on one of the first drives of the game turning into a touchdown away from being perfect. It would have been a 16-point win for the Packers if they did that. If they got a field goal, it would have been 12. You're always usually going to be around that number. They know what they're doing, but I think the argument that this wasn't good enough, the NFL's hard. And I loved what Josh DiMaggio said after the Cubs won Game 3 of the NLDS to make it a series and push it to 4 and then to 5. It's true across professional sports and college sports now, Division I. They get paid too. The Bengals don't care that they were 14.5-point underdogs. If anything, they use it to motivate them. Jamar Chase doesn't walk into Lambeau Field and go, well, as long as we lose by less than 2 touchdowns, I think we did our job.
Yeah, we got to cover 14.5.
They don't care, and if they do, they're going to get fined and suspended for it, which has happened around the NFL before. But yeah, so they better not care. And the Bengals get paid too. Zach Taylor gets paid too. That offense that was run by Joe Flacco, here's the argument that I get. Joe Flacco had like 4 days to learn that playbook, or what he wanted to use of it. If you want to argue that the Packers didn't beat that team by enough because Joe Flacco went in, even though he is a veteran, and probably had to take the most rudimentary parts of that playbook, the fundamentals, and nail those down and couldn't put all the frosting on top and the sprinkles, that's fine. But if you're going to argue that the Packers didn't win enough just because it felt like they should have won by 2 scores, I know you were looking at the spread.
Yeah, well, in both sides, I think, Dave, you're probably Zach Taylor. You're happy with the offense, how they played it the same way.
Yeah, they put up a fight.
They did. Well, and they got the ball out fast, and the only sack that you saw in this game was Lucas Van Ness just completely undressing the left tackle, Orlando Brown, and then being able to get through without any contact whatsoever. The ball came out so fast that the Bengals were able to get the ball in their skill position's hands, but then the back 7 for the Packers did their job yesterday. They always seem to make a tackle short of the sticks, and there's a reason why that, again, until that 2-point conversion with about 7-8 minutes to go, the Bengals really didn't feel like they had a pulse in this game.
Yeah, and that's it too. Like, again, if you watched the game and you still felt like they hung around too much, so be it. If you did not watch the game and you just box score watched and you checked in and went, only 9? They had control of this from the get-go. Again, my heart rate jumped a little bit when Love's tipped pass turned into a pick. Didn't think it was a great throw. He admitted that after the conclusion of the game as well. Sure, there's adjustments to make. Green Bay didn't play an A-plus game, but they're 3-1-1. They're right there where they should be. I just think a lot of people are going, wow, this team, they were a 7 seed last year. They made the playoffs. They were well above 500. Now they got Micah Parsons. So because you slap arguably the most talented defensive player on this team, they're supposed to be the best team in the NFL by far. And that's just not the case. They have to gel.
It's going to take time.
He's been a game wrecker. Don't get me wrong. The offense, I think that's an interesting argument too. Did the offense do enough in this game? Because I don't think they did. The Bengals' defense has been heavily criticized, and for good reason, in the last few years for just making the offense, when Joe Burrow is healthy enough to get out there, when his offensive line is semi-protecting him, they're making the offense just get in shootouts. I thought Green Bay was going to score more than 27 yesterday.
No, and that's fair. I will say that if you look at the second half, what this Packers team did, touchdown, field goal, kneel. So in the second half, the offense did everything that you could have ever dreamed of. Was it a little slow to start? Sure, but I was more encouraged about seeing guys like Matthew Golden. I know it was only 3 catches, but explosive plays.
He looks really good.
When
he
the
looks
ball,
like a first-round receiver.
When the ball's in his hands, when he's in the open field, he makes people miss. And yesterday was a great example where he probably had 40 yards after the catch just because how quick he was. And thankfully those guys and guys like Tucker Kraft down the field blocking after the catch as well. Matthew Golden yesterday, it has me encouraged that he can be, even if it's on 1,000 yards this year, he's going to be the wide receiver one that's going to be able to put this offense over the top.
I know there were some pretty harsh criticisms of the lack of use of Golden, of his performances. I just want to go down his stats week by week really quick so you can imagine and see the improvement. Then we'll take a break, get to top 3 plays of the week. Beaver Dam football recap from homecoming against Port Washington and the Husticon Clinton game. That just, the scoring never stopped.
The game of the year.
I want to talk about that because, Yeah, Aiden Voigt, our audio and video producer on site there, walked away from that, sent me a text late at night and went, that's the best game I've ever seen. It's probably the best game I ever will see. But for Matthew Golden, first 2 weeks combined, he had 2 receptions on 4 targets for 16 yards. The loss against Cleveland, 4 receptions, 52 yards. Dallas tie, 5 receptions, 58 yards. And then the Cincinnati 27-18 win, 3 receptions on 5 targets for a season-high 86 yards.
With the rush in there, too.
Yeah, we're seeing the growth before our very eyes. He's gotten the ball out of the backfield at least once in each of the last 4 games. He had 2 rushes for 16 yards in that one. This is the first-round talent that you want to see. They're kind of using him like Christian Watson at the beginning after he had the opening the drops at the beginning of the season. It was, we still got to get the ball in his hands. He's electric. He's speedy. He had one of the best 40 times. We have to find a way to get the ball in his hands, and now they're finding a way to do it on the ground, through the air. Again, 3 receptions for 86 yards. I'll take that every day of the week. He is that vertical threat who you can get involved in a lot of different spots on the offense. He can really chameleon when you have the skill set that Matthew Golden does wherever he wants to on the offense, which I think is really encouraging.
5 of the 8 drives, if you exclude the kneel down at the end of the game, is a drive. 5 of the 8 drives were scoring drives. It should have been 6 if you don't have the bad Jordan Love. Reverted back to bad Jordan Love.
Yeah, that was not a great throw.
That wasn't a great throw, but he seemed to rebound right away from that. But you're looking at 6 of the 8 drives should be scoring 2. It might not feel like a super win because you didn't win by 30, but this was a complete win that I know that Coach LaFleur is going to be happy with how the team performed.
There we go. When we come back, top 3 high school plays of the week, Beaver Dam football and Husticon football recaps as well. This is the Dam Sports Show on 1430 ESPN and Daily Dodge TV.
This is Coach Schultz, Athletic Director and Head Football Coach at Wayland Academy for your Big Red football program. You're listening to 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
Partner your business with the most famous 4 letters in sports, ESPN. For more information, click on the Contact Us tab at dailydodge.com.
From the Daily Dodge News Center, I'm Terry Bell. A familiar face is returning to the Beaver Dam Area Community Theater's leadership. David Sneeder is the organization's new business manager. Managing Director David Allen Smith is taking over as production coordinator. Generac's newest Beaver Dam Education Center is officially open. About 32 high school juniors and seniors from all over Dodge County will go through immersive paid youth apprenticeships each year. State Representative Mark Bourne says a package of Republican bills the state assembly passed last week aimed to create more affordable housing in Wisconsin. The bills would create grants and other incentives. 13 people have died in boating accidents in Wisconsin this year. The law says there has to be one properly fitting life jacket for every person on a boat in Wisconsin. The 700 block of West Burnett Street in Beaver Dam will be closed for repairs this week. That's the block between Beaver Street and Fairfield Avenue. From the Daily Dodge News Center, I'm Terry Bell.
Your home for Beaver Dam High School Golden Beaver Athletics is Daily Dodge TV and 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
Save big money right now at Menards. October is Fire Safety Month. Kidde Home Safety products keep your family protected in case of emergencies. From smoke and carbon monoxide detectors to fire extinguishers and more. Get peace of mind with new smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Today, save big money on all Kidde products at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all our great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Busy days and rising prices got you down? Shop smarter at the market at Beaver Dam, where fresh meals, friendly faces, and real savings make all the difference. Swing by Granny's Bakery and Deli for homemade grab-and-go meals the whole family will love. Then head to Grandpa's Sausage Kitchen for bold, hearty flavors that bring everyone to the table. Don't forget to swing through the liquor department, perfect for pairing with dinner or unwinding after a long day. For even more value, use your My Market app for extra savings when you shop the market at Beaver Dam.
Did you know Marshfield Clinic offers self-scheduling? And there's no better time than right now to catch up on care. Primary Care can help you stay on track with screenings, vaccinations, and labs, or simply be the place to check in on your overall health and well-being. Making an appointment online is simple. Visit marshfieldclinic.org/primary care and tap Schedule Online. Marshfield Clinic Primary Care. Life is calling. Go with confidence.
When your car is making a strange noise, no matter what it is, you can't just pretend it's not happening.
That's an interesting sound.
It's like your mental health. If you're struggling and feeling overwhelmed, it's important to do something about it. It can be as simple as talking to someone, or just taking a deep, calming breath to ground yourself. Because once you start to address the problem, you can go so much further. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org.
Whether it's the Golden Beavers, the Rockets, or the Warriors, the Damn Sports Show talks about your favorite local teams on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. And it's presented by Real Sports Cards in Waupun.
Wisconsin Badgers men's and women's basketball arena, I should say, here at the Kohl Center. Had the chance to talk to some different players and Greg Gard, which was awesome today. Again, a huge thank you to Eli Wilkie. Hopefully we're going to see in just a little bit here as they're doing a open media practice and shoot around a little bit after 5. A reminder for all you at home, you've got a great opportunity here. Join the WBEV Morning Show's Sherry Sackett on an 8-day adventure through the Emerald Isle with our friends from Colette Travel. Per person rates for 2, it is $43.99. For a single, it is $5,000. For a triple, all the way down to $43.69 a person. Round trip from O'Hare International Airport. Passport is required. Some highlights: you get Dublin, the Rock of Cashel, Blarney Castle, Dingle Peninsula. This is going to be tough. Cliffs of Moher. Oh, we've got phonetics in here. Castle Hotel Stay, a whiskey distillery tour, Foynes Aviation Museum. Colette, I am so sorry if I messed up any of those. I think I got them right. Colette does take care of everything, by the way, including putting pronunciations in here for people like me. Flights, meals, hotels, experiences, the whole 9 yards. For more information, go to dailydodge.com and hit the Irish Splendor page or contact Holly Schmidt, 262-707-3342. That is 262-707-3342, or Holly at memorymakingtravel.com. All right. First, before we get to Beaver Dam's homecoming game against Port Washington, a rematch of the ECC title game from 2024, and before we get to, I think one of the highest scoring football games in Wisconsin in 2025 and probably the last few years now, before we get to all that, it is time for the top 3 high school plays of the week. Your top 3 high school plays of the week. Mr. Absorbed that. Carroll kept it in plane. Here come the Redhawks. There's that Beaver block. It's Bates and Shabilsky.
Blank right side. He's going to throw. He's got Seifert wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Golden Beavers. 3 yards. Blank to Seifert.
4 touchdown passes and 1 rushing touchdown for Meyer tonight. He wants to throw. Being chased. Look out. Breaks a tackle. Throws. Wide open. Caught at the 50. Down the right sideline. Vorlov. 30. 20. 10. 5. Touchdown, Husticon! 4th and goal, Clinton. From the 14-yard line with 1 second on the clock. Tie ball game, 48 apiece. This is to win it, or we go to overtime. Throwing, and it is touchdown! Touchdown, Clinton! They win it!
Just nuts. So, number 3, the Beaver block comes up clutch against Milton, Reagan Shabilsky, and Miss Bates as well. Number 2, Parker Blank to Ashton Seifert for the opening score on homecoming for Beaver Dam. And number 1, Husticon and Clinton just got in an arms race, and you heard the last 2 haymakers there. Barrett Meyer to Reed Vorlob with a few minutes left. 2-point conversion, good to make it 48-48. And then Clinton snapped the ball on 4th and goal with 1 second left for the walk-off touchdown at the end. We're going to start with Beaver Dam falling 21-7 on homecoming. Wally, you were there. What did you see that led to that? It was 7-7 for a while.
It was, and I'll keep it brief for us, but Beaver Dam, they started fast. A Wild Beaver, once again, it was doing its job. The only problem is they weren't able to completely finish drives throughout the game. They did have a chance, second and goal from about the 2 late in the third, and they weren't able to punch the ball in 3 straight plays. You got to tip your cap to the Pirates, who were able to get the stops and be able to get a broken play from O'Neal Wright there early in the fourth quarter, and from there it was just too much to overcome. But Golden Beavers still have a shot for a conference championship this upcoming Friday, and you can punch your ticket to the playoff with the win there too. So very, very, very important game and a lot to play for.
I do like the wrinkle to the Wild Beaver where Parker Blank in the spring, he plays third base, he pitches, you could see he has an arm, so you have someone who's, with Brock Hiley unfortunately out, Parker Blank is now not your lone source of electricity, but probably the most dangerous player with the football in his hands now. He already was before, but he can also throw it. So now teams have to branch out, see if anybody's running out in the flat, and Ashton Seifert did just that. Went towards the back pylon, caught it wide open for a touchdown. Defense held up pretty good, I thought. Again, it was just the offense coming down on some of those. You'll hear it on the post-game report on dailydodge.com under the sports tab. Brock Lindy referred to them as money plays, goal-to-go situations. Third and extremely short. Fourth and extremely short. On either side of the football, it's winning those battles. For Clinton and Husticon, the final score was 54-48. That's 102 total points, and it ended on a literal walk-off touchdown. Could have gone to overtime. Did not. Might be the craziest game ever. Aiden Voigt, who was the video and audio engineer for that game, said, I don't think this state is going to see a better high school football game this year. Barrett Meyer to Reed Vorlob with a few minutes left, 2-point conversion good. Clinton gets the walk-off touchdown. Literally as time expires, all I have there is that I don't know if we'll see a crazier game this year.
No, I don't know either. Shout out to Barrett Meyer in a losing effort, over 400 passing yards in this game. So, the offense showed up. They just need to get a couple more stops. But heck of a job by Aiden to be able to get out there with Mike and Tim to be able to see possibly the game of the year in Wisconsin.
Aiden probably scrolled that camera, panned it back and forth like 50 billion times with how the players were just running up and down the field. 102 total points on that one. Great job to the Clinton Cougars. Great job to the Husticon Marsh Falcons for putting on a show. When we come back, a real quick version of Who's Hot, Who's Not on 1430 ESPN and Daily Dodge TV.
Here's a look at your weatherology forecast. Lows dip down to about 46. Tonight, under partly cloudy skies, winds out of the north 5 to 10 miles per hour. High temperatures reach up to 65. Tomorrow, mainly sunny skies. Showers likely tomorrow night, lows level off around 48, cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam. Currently, it's 62 degrees.
Keep up to date with all the latest going on in high school athletics across the region by heading to the sports tab at dailydodge.com. Local scores, interviews, and more.
Attention sports fans. Whether you're chasing the hottest rookie card, that next big autographed sports card, or looking for expert card services, Real Sports Cards is here for you. For everything from sports to Pokemon cards, visit the store in downtown Waupun today. Go to the Apple Store or Google Play and download the Real Sports Cards app for all the live online card breaks. Watch, collect, and win from anywhere. Real Sports Cards, where every day is opening day.
After a serious accident, you'll need a winning team to protect your rights. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Talk about stepping up. Bang! Bang! It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
Member Week is back at Lowe's with big savings for pros. Now through October 15th, My Lowe's Pro Rewards members get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, building materials, and more. Plus, get free standard shipping. Shop these exclusive member-only savings before they're gone. Not a rewards member? Join for free today. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Subject to change.
Listen to Green Bay football all season long on 95.3 WBEV. Each game will announce a Columbus Family Dental Mystery Player of the Game. Remember who that mystery player is, then listen to the 95.3 WBEV morning show the next business day right around 8:15. Be the correct caller when we ask who was the Columbus Family Dental Mystery Player of the Game. Get it right and you'll win a Sonic Care toothbrush and be entered in the drawing for the end of the season mystery prize. It's the Mystery Player of the Game presented by Columbus Family Dental.
Are you tired of battling a damp, musty basement? Air Care and Beaver Dam has a solution for you. The April Air Dehumidifier will significantly improve the air quality in your basement by removing up to 100 pints of moisture per day. That's 12.5 gallons. The April Air Dehumidifier is quiet, energy efficient, and backed by an impressive 5-year replacement warranty. If you want a crisp, dry lower level for more living space or storage, call Air Care at 920-356-8860. Big enough to serve you and small enough to care.
There's power in your smile. Hi, this is Dr. Adam Forster from Columbus Family Dental. Your smile can make or break a day, start a conversation, even double a dose of courage. At Columbus Family Dental, we're committed to protecting your grin from ear to ear. Young and old, orthodontics to cosmetics, we're here to make it that much easier to share your smile. Columbus Family Dental is now accepting every kind of smile. Call us today for a free, no-pressure consultation at 623-5559.
Stay tuned to the Damn Sports Show, brought to you by Real Sports Cards in Waupun. Get the inside look at Beaver Dam High School athletics, weekdays at 4 on 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam.
And we're squeezing it at the end here because, of course, we are. It's time for Who's Hot, Who's Not, the best and worst of the weekend. I'm going to go with Who's Hot, Daniel Jones, because at this moment, about a third of the way through the NFL season, he has the best quarterback rating in the NFL. That's pretty interesting to me.
Yeah, Indiana Jones is for real. I'm saying Eli Wilkie and this Badgers team having us out here today. What an amazing day. This was a blast.
Yeah, and we are super excited to release some of those clips coming up. Who's not? My boy Justin Fields, former Bears quarterback. When you account for his sack yardage, he was in the negatives for passing yards, -10. Statistically, one of the worst performances we've seen from a quarterback. I saw this nugget on Twitter earlier today. Kendall Hinton, when he spot started at QB for the Broncos a few years ago as a traditional skill position player, had more passing yards at 12.
Whew, it wasn't a good week. I'm saving mine for Out of Bounds. I got to get riled up for mine.
Okay, sounds good. This is the Damn Sports Show on 1430 ESPN and Daily
on the
TV.
shoulders.
Women who fought for their own financial futures.
And now
Sorry,
it's our
Ashley.
turn.
Join us. Visit WeSaySaveIt.org and take control of your financial future by saving for retirement.
A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Yeah, I'll